Happy May, Whitby. The April showers brought out those Mayflowers. We have in the midst of a beautiful week right now. 20-degree weather is on the horizon. I hope you're loving it as much as I am. The real estate market, we know how hot it was early in the year, but as hot as the weather is today. But it has cooled down slightly since. We've been seeing that. I've been talking about it week to week. What happened kind of this week in Whitby Real Estate for the May 1st to the 7th, that kind of first week of May. Stick with me on the other side of this intro to find out more. How's it going, everybody? Rob Marsiglio back here again with another weekly Whitby Wrap, today covering May 1st to May 7th. As always, we'll get into the detached homes, townhomes, semis, the condos as well. We'll monitor the activity in the market in terms of showings and offers. And I'll also kind of dive into an article talking about what's going to happen with rates and how I feel like that'll affect the market here specifically, where again in the suburbs, Durham region, Whitby being one of those from Toronto, we are seeing a bigger slowdown than we are in the city core itself. So with that being said, I'm going to head up to the top corner of your screen there and we'll get into some detached home stats. So just as a bit of a refresher here, I pulled up these numbers and we can see, if we remember correctly, the top of the market. Detached homes in Whitby, the median sale price was 1.5 million. That was down to 1.23 million by April. And let's hop in to see kind of what happened this past week. So from May 1st to 7th, we had 78 new listings, 27 sales. So, listings were even, sales were down from the week before. We had 1.1 million as the median sale price. So again, that's down a pretty significant chunk from that top of the market that we did see. Days on market for the ones that are selling are still 6. There's another number called property days on market, and that takes into account kind of the entire time a property has been on the market, not just a specific listing. And that was at around 11 for Whitby as a whole. So at the time of recording, there were 169 active listings for 1.27 months of inventory. Again, that has just been slowly creeping up. I know we've referred to in the past that 3 to 4 months of inventory is what a balanced market is. At the pace we're seeing things, and again, with all these suspended and terminations, 34 that are kind of inflating this listing number, I'd say we're a lot closer to a balanced market right now and a bit of a buyer's opportunity market in Durham region, in Whitby, for people kind of moving out here from the city. So that's what I'm seeing on the detached side for the week of May 1st to the 7th. So how about our townhomes? What we'll do is we'll start here again with a little refresher as to what was happening earlier in the year when the market really peaked out in February. So you can see here with townhomes, that median sale price was 1.125 million. Let's see kind of what happened May 1st to the 7th. So new listings, we had 18 sales, 4, which is, it's a 5-week low going back to the beginning of April. That median sale price, again, just for the 4 sales was at 920. That's kind of started hovering a little bit for the townhomes. We'll see what happens again with rates reportedly on the rise, how that's going to affect the prices of townhomes in the Durham area, in Whitby specifically. 6 days on market for everything that's selling. At the time of recording, again, 55 active listings. So that's actually 1.53, so 1.5 months of inventory based on the number of sales in the past 30 days. So you can see a good chunk more than we're seeing in the detached segment. And as suspended and terminated, we had 13 listings that were pulled off the market, and probably a few of them lumped back into this new listing number as well. Jumping right into the semis for this week, we had 2 new listings, 2 sales. So this is an average of those 2 sales. So again, don't read too much into this price. There was 11 days on market for these ones that sold, so they're sitting there for a little bit longer. There are 5 active semi-detached listings in Whitby right now for 0.7 months of inventory, with 4 properties being suspended or terminated in the last week. So that's the breakdown for everything individually in Whitby. Let's look at all of our freeholds kind of lumped all together in one place right now. So let's back to the top of the screen I go. We have for May 1st to the 7th, so 99 new listings, down from the week before. 34 sales, actually the 5-week low, going back to the beginning of April. Again, median price point, 5-week low, 1.057 million. 6 days on market, 233 active listings for about a 1.3 months of inventory, 52 suspended or terminated. So you can see that that's actually a 5-week high. And again, we are trending kind of back towards the number of suspended and terminated that we did see in April. We have 26 properties sold above asking of these 34 and 8 sold below asking in the previous week. All that to say, properties that are priced well, that are prepared well, are still selling in Whitby. We're just not getting those prices that we were seeing back in February. And I think that's clear now. So if you're looking to list your home, let's be realistic. Let's look at the properties that have sold, in the last 2 weeks to a month to base our pricing on that and really make these listings shine. You can still get good money for your homes. You're just not getting the, 1.5 million median price point that you were seeing back in February. Quickly into our condos, not too much activity. Condo townhomes, we had 2 new listings and 2 sales for that average price point of $628,000. 11 days on market is what they were sitting there for. Again, this number here, the sold price to list price ratio, is reflective of the fact they were sitting there for a little bit. These actually average selling for under asking price. And we currently have 7 condo towns active in Whitby. New listings on the condo apartment side, there were 5, and then 0 for all the sales stats. That means, we still have 12 active condo apartments in Whitby available to purchase. Lump these all together, it's our 8 listings in total, and then these sale numbers are going to be the same as the condo towns because that is all that's sold in this past week. Now, lastly, as we always do, let's check out our showings and our offer per new listings. Let's see what those numbers are doing, how they're trending. We've been seeing the slowdown in the market. Has that continued into May for the first week? Short answer is yes, it has. So far in May to date, we are seeing 14.2 showings per new listing, which is down 7.8% from last month. We're actually seeing for the first time all year, probably for the first time in a little while, I need to go back and check these numbers too, but less than 1 offer per new listing hitting the market in Whitby. So again, that's down about 7.8% from last month. And we already have in this first week 56 expired, suspended, or terminated listings. So we're actually on pace to eclipse this 183 that we saw back in April. The last thing I want to touch on this week was a headline you may have seen in the Financial Post, and I'll bring it up on the screen right now. The way the housing market is stalling, the Bank of Canada may have to hit the brakes sooner than expected. So for the first time since 2010, 5-year fixed mortgage rates are all above 4%. So the numbers are in, and as one economist puts it, April was the cruelest month for the housing market. As we know already from the channel here, home sales data showed softening in Canada's 4 largest markets. So again, we touch on the GTA, but things were very similar. You can see it fell 26% in Toronto in March, from March to April, 22% in Calgary, and 17% in Vancouver. Prices have also begun to cool, and Toronto prices dropped 6.4% in April. We know that it's a little more extensive out here in Whitby and the Durham region, where we saw kind of 15 to 18% drops in prices from the peak in February. So there's a couple things I want to note from this article. Past periods of rising rates have reduced housing activity by 10 to 22% in the following year, said TD, and we're seeing this happen right away. So things are happening a lot quicker this time with rate hikes, where we saw, as reported into April, a 40% drop in activity across the Toronto Real Estate Board. April's slump in home sales, along with the unexpected fall in hours worked seen in Friday's job data, could weigh on the GDP as well, and they estimate that the drop in real estate activity alone could shave 0.2% off the month's gross domestic product. And lastly, what they say here is, while it's unlikely that this drop is going to bring a pause to the Bank of Canada's rate hiking cycles, I don't think that they will stop from the path they've charted. The plunge in home sales reinforces our views that the bank is really underestimating the impact that tighter monetary policy will have on the economy. What may happen is that, if GDP growth is pushed down into 2023, the bank may pause its tightening sooner than markets expect. So I'm not saying this is going to happen in the next few rate cycles. I think they'll stick to their guns, but they may have to pause this tightening a little sooner than we're seeing. What will that mean for kind of coming out of this little price dip? Only time will tell, but in general, as rates go up, prices do tend to come down a bit, and the inverse is true. So that's what kind of happened in Whitby and kind of the broader scope for May 1st to the 7th. I hope this information was useful for you. If you have questions about your specific house or neighborhood, please always feel free to reach out. All my contact info is in the description of this video below. Let me know what you think that these rate increases are going to do to our market. How much further do you see prices coming down? Do you see activity coming down? Will it be a long slump or will it be a shorter slump? I'd love to have that discussion with you. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like the video, share it with a friend, and until I see you next time, cheers.